Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed? Like you're standing at the foot of a mountain and it just feels too big to climb? Maybe it's a challenge at work, a personal struggle, or a dream that seems impossible. You look at the giant in front of you and think, there's just no way. If that's you, I want to share a story today that is thousands of years old but feels like it could have been written for this very moment. It's the story of David and Goliath. And it's a powerful reminder of where true strength comes from. Picture this: the ancient land of Israel. Two armies are locked in a tense standoff in the valley of Elah. On one side, the nervous soldiers of Israel, led by King Saul. On the other, the mighty Philistines, and stepping out from the Philistine ranks every single day is their champion, a man named Goliath. This guy is the definition of intimidating. He's over 9 feet tall, decked out in heavy bronze armor, carrying a spear that looks more like a weaver's beam. His voice booms across the valley, taunting the Israelites, daring anyone to fight him. For 40 days, this goes on, 40 days of fear. The Israelite army is paralyzed. No one, not even the king, has the courage to face him. They see the giant, and all they can think is, we're finished. Now let's switch scenes. Miles away, in the quiet fields near Bethlehem, a young shepherd boy named David is taking care of his father's sheep. David is the youngest of 8 brothers. He's not a soldier. He's not big or strong by the world's standards. His daily battles are against lions and bears that try to snatch his flock. He spends his days under the open sky, likely playing his harp and singing songs to God. He's the last person you'd expect to be a hero. He's overlooked, underestimated, and basically invisible in the grand scheme of things. One day, David's father, Jesse, sends him on an errand. He tells him to take some food to his 3 oldest brothers, who are on the front lines with Saul's army. It's a simple delivery job, so David packs up the supplies and heads to the army camp. When he arrives, he hears it, that booming, arrogant voice of Goliath, mocking his people and his God. David sees the fear in the eyes of the soldiers, the same soldiers who are supposed to be the nation's protectors. But David sees something different. He doesn't just see a giant warrior. He sees someone defying the God of Israel, and something inside him ignites. He asks the men around him, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? His question is met with disbelief and even anger. His own brother Eliab scolds him, accusing him of being arrogant and just wanting to watch the battle. He tells him to go back to his sheep. People often dismiss you when you have a God-given conviction, don't they? They see your youth, your inexperience, your lack of qualifications, and they tell you to stay in your lane. But David isn't fazed. He knows something they don't. His confidence isn't in himself. His confidence comes from his history with God. He tells King Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. He wasn't bragging. He was giving his resume of faithfulness. He was saying, God was with me then, and he will be with me now. Think about that. What are the lions and bears in your past that God has helped you overcome? Maybe they weren't literal wild animals. Maybe they were small victories, moments of provision, or times you felt a peace that didn't make sense. Those are your training grounds. Those are the experiences that build your faith for the Goliaths you'll face later. David didn't suddenly become a hero in the valley. He was forged in the lonely fields, learning to trust God when no one was watching. So Saul, a bit hesitantly, agrees to let David fight. He tries to put his own royal armor on David, but it's too big and clumsy. David takes it off. This is so important. He couldn't fight in someone else's armor. He couldn't rely on the world's methods or strategies. He had to rely on what he knew, on what God had equipped him with. He walks toward the valley floor with no sword, no shield, no helmet. All he has is his shepherd's staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones he picked up from the stream. Can you imagine the scene? The entire Philistine army is probably laughing. Goliath looks at this young boy and is insulted. Am I a dog, he roars, that you come at me with sticks? He curses David by his gods. But David's reply is one of the most powerful declarations of faith in all of Scripture. He says, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." David wasn't focused on the size of the giant, he was focused on the size of his God. His perspective was completely different from everyone else's. They saw an obstacle too big to overcome. David saw an opportunity for God to show his power, and then he runs. He doesn't hesitate. He runs toward the giant. He places a stone in his sling, swings it around, and lets it fly. The boy, who was too small, too young, too inexperienced, had defeated the unbeatable champion, not with might but with faith. That single stone sinks into Goliath's forehead, and the giant falls face down on the ground. So what does this mean for us today as we face our own giants? First, it teaches us to change our perspective. Stop staring at the size of your problem and start focusing on the size of your God. The giant might look big, but our God is infinitely bigger. When we see our challenges through the lens of faith, they begin to shrink. Second, remember your history with God. Recall those lion and bear moments. Your past victories are proof of God's future faithfulness. Let them fuel your courage. And finally, use what God has given you. Don't try to be someone you're not or use tools that aren't yours. God has uniquely equipped you. Your 5 smooth stones might be a talent, a kind word, a specific skill, or simply your unwavering faith. It may not look like much to the world, but in God's hands, it's more than enough to bring down any giant. Life will always have Goliaths, but the story of David reminds us that we are never alone in the valley. The same God who gave a shepherd boy the courage to face a giant is with you right now. He sees you, He is for you, and He is greater than anything you will ever face. So take a deep breath, pick up your stone, and run toward your giant, knowing that the battle belongs to the Lord. Thank you so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more faith boosts. We'll see you in the next one.